Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. Appreciate everyone tuning in here wherever you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, the BSN app. Thanks for joining in here on a Tuesday afternoon. I got Howard Bender here back for this big slate of baseball games we got tonight. We'll talk some NFL win totals as well. What's up, Howard?
What's going on, Servo? Sorry I missed you yesterday. You know, the clamoring for me elsewhere was in high demand apparently, and so wanted to make sure that I did everything I could to, you know, just kind of be here for you today. I'm good with this. I'm like very curious to hear a lot of your picks, a lot of your props, because I got to build a DFS lineup right afterwards. So.
Yeah, John and Pemba filled in. He pinch hit nicely yesterday, and we gave out some picks. You know, winners, losers. It's just how it goes. But hopefully, we're on the right side of things tonight. I do, you know, just to tease a little bit. Definitely stay tuned for all our picks. But I know me and Howard are a little on opposite sides of one game tonight, at least. So we'll have to get to that. We'll see where we're going. But wanted to start out here just talking some NFL win totals because, you know, we got training camps in full swing here. We got the news swirling. We got, you know, if you're over at Fantasy Alarm, you know, we got the fantasy football draft guide, the cheat sheet, articles up every day there. So if you haven't checked all that stuff out, get there now. But we want to talk the betting side of things here on this Bettor Sports Network show, and talk some win totals for the NFC North teams. And if you have any picks, questions, definitely hit us up in the chat for any of these teams that you want us to touch on, or any baseball picks you got for tonight. But yeah, let's dive into the NFC North. You can see the win totals here for all four of the NFC North teams for this season. We got the Lions with the highest number there. The Lions at 9.5 wins. The overs at -120. The under at +100. Let's start with Detroit here. Where are you leaning for this win total as the highest in this division? Not the best division in terms of win totals and futures odds and all that in the NFL overall. But the Lions here, 9-5. They finished 9-8 last year. Started the year 1-6 and won their last 8 of the last 10 games to get to that 9-8 record. But that win total at 9.5, you think they're getting to 10+ wins here?
Well, I mean, I think for that to really happen, I mean, I think that the Lions, I mean, their out of conference schedule goes up against the AFC North as well, and that can be a very daunting task considering you've got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Browns, all, you know, solid teams coming into this year. I think I would actually probably lean on the under and just take the plus odds, only because, I mean, to get to 10 wins, I think a lot needs to break right. I know everybody's like all in on the Lions being everybody's darling, but, you know, major shakeup. It's a new offensive coordinator. They got Jim Bob Cooter running the show over there, or not Jim Bob. What was his name?
Johnson. I forget his first name, but you're talking about the OC?
Yeah.
I just had Ben Johnson. Yeah.
Okay, so you got Ben Johnson. Is a brand new backfield, right? Now you've got, you know, David Montgomery and everybody's darling Jahmyr Gibbs. I just think that, you know, when you're looking at wins and losses here, and the Lions were 9-8 last year, have they improved that much in the offseason? Have they? I don't really see a whole lot of, you know, things really moving the needle, other than the fact that they could be better or they could be the same exact thing. So, I'd probably just bet the under just to take the plus odds and just wish them nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah, the win total at 9.5 feels a little inflated because of just how they finished last year and just the down NFC North around them. I mean, we'll get to some of these, you know, the other teams in this division, but obviously the Packers will be worse with Rodgers no longer there. The Vikings win total is at 8.5, which is, you know, they were 13-4 last year. So obviously Vegas expected them to take a step back. The Bears at 7.5. I do like their over. We'll get to them in a second, but I think they'll be improved. But obviously, a team that was not great last year. So you're just overall this division's down, and I think when you kind of add up, ideally the Lions will be, out of the how many division games? Six division games. They could go 5-1 in those, and then all of a sudden it's just like that's what inflates their win total. But I do think that I would lean towards the over actually here, because looking at their schedule, just kind of diving into it, they play the Chiefs, Chargers, and Ravens on the road, which is tough. But I think the fact that they are on the road there kind of gives them you'd maybe expect them to lose those games anyway, but on the road kind of points that direction anyway. But then when you look at some of their home games, a lot of their non-division home games are games they should win. Seahawks, Raiders, Broncos, like kind of penciling in 3 wins there. And
really? Really? Like, are you that sold on Jared Goff and Dan Campbell and the Detroit
I'm not sold
Lions?
on Goff, but I'm sold on this offense being good around Goff, that he can just have kind of like what he did with the Rams, just being good enough, honestly. I mean, his talent compared to other quarterbacks in the league is obviously not there, but if he can just kind of manage a situation and get it to all the talent around him, I could say, and honestly, I think they're gonna beat up on this division. I like the Bears, but I think this division helps this win total.
What's he throwing to for the first 6 weeks of the season? He's got Amon-Ra, he's got Jahmyr Gibbs, and then where does it go? You're not gonna throw me like Marvin Jones or anything like that. Maybe you can throw in a little Sam Laporta, but I mean, there's nothing game breaking about this Lions team, dude.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a huge game breaker, though.
Is he?
Yes.
Isn't that pretty much what everybody said about DeAndre Swift when he first came into the league too? And what happened to him? He became he was like a glorified pass catching back. He was like a third down guy who got phased out of a Lions offense because he couldn't run it between the tackles.
Gibbs is much more dynamic than Swift, in my opinion. Just overall coming out of college as a prospect. And the fact that he's going to a team that he doesn't have to be, the lead guy, with David Montgomery there, I like that 1-2 punch a lot.
But he is being asked to be a lead guy.
Well, not with Montgomery. Like, he's not going to be, getting 25 carries a game.
No, he's definitely not going to be getting 25 carries a game. And that's kind of what my biggest fear is. We talk about, he's going to line up in the slot and he's going to line up as a receiver and he's going to do all this pass catching stuff. And what happens if it doesn't come to pass? Like, we also know that if the Lions get a lead, Dan Campbell just wants to ground and pound it and just kill the clock in the second half. Like, I just worry that we're putting too much stock into Jahmyr Gibbs as this big game breaking guy because the Lions, overdrafted him.
Well, that's true. I agree, but I don't think it takes away from what his talent is. I mean, listen, overall in the scheme of things, he's not going to be adding, 2 wins to the Lions win total. So, like, right. I get that part of it.
That's the big thing right there. Yeah. No, he's not going to.
I mean, I just think 9.5 is. I think it's a good line because we're both on the either side of it here. So I think it's an appropriate line there.
Side action, you and me. Lions win total this year.
I'll take it. Yeah, why not?
I'll take the under. You take the over.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll have to figure out a bet. But yeah, I mean, I'm split on it, but I'll lean the over there.
Okay. All right.
I do want to. I'll definitely take the over on the Bears. I want to see where you're sticking with the Bears here. Lions and Bears. Oh my. 7.5 is their win total. Minus 130 to the over there. I still like it, even though it is juiced that way. I just think that Fields I think he's set up for a big breakout. I mean, obviously in fantasy, that's what people are hoping for. That are drafting him, earlier. But I think the fact that they brought in DJ Moore as a legit number 1 target for him, which is not what he's had in the past 2 years there in Chicago, I think that's huge for him. So I like Fields to kind of take a step forward. Obviously, this is a team that went They were 3-14 last year. So this win total at 7.5, Vegas kind of expecting them to take a leap here. I was diving into it here, just kind of make the case to this over here. 1-7 in one-score games were the Bears last year, which you got to think that luck kind of switches a little bit in their favor. And looking at their schedule, they have one of the easier schedules this year in terms of strength of schedule compared to last year when they kind of ran through a tough one. And their poor record kind of helped them out with that, getting some of those easier matchups. But also they added some big names on defense. I think that's going to help shore up that side of the ball. Tremaine Edwards and TJ Edwards, the linebacking core, and Yannick Ngakoue on the edge. So, but mostly I just kind of have faith in Fields taking a leap here. And 7-5 just seems a little bit low for a team that I think is going to be above 500.
You had me at hello.
We can agree on this one. There we go.
And hello. Yes, I think that they are definitely either an 8 or a 9 win team.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, listen, I think yes, Fields should take that next step forward. A lot of people are putting that comparison to Justin Fields onto Jalen Hurts, right? I mean, he gets the top tier wide receiver right now in DJ Moore. They did the same thing with Hurts and got him AJ Brown. I don't really know if the secondary and tertiary receivers are going to be as strong as Devonta Smith or Dallas Goedert, but I'd still think that this team can pull out 8 or 9 wins. So I'm in on the over with you for the Bears.
All right. Yeah, I've also seen comparisons to Josh Allen in his year 3, getting Stephon Diggs in the offseason and helping him take a step forward there. So, I mean, DJ Moore, I don't think he's as good as Diggs or AJ Brown, but he's still a really good number 1 guy. So, all right, we agree on that one. Let's see where we stand on the Minnesota Vikings. 8.5 is their win total. Really interesting looking back at last year because they were 13-4 last year, 11-0 in one-score games. They were one of the luckiest teams in the NFL, and it was like, if you were betting on them, or betting against them last year, it was just a roller coaster of whether they'd pull some of these games out. But 11-0 straight up in one-score games last year. 8.5 is the win total, -110 either way. Pretty much a toss-up here. Where you go?
Oh, where do I go? I go with the over for Minnesota here. I get it. Their defense is a little on the side, although they did bring in defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who I absolutely love. I think Flores is a fantastic coach. This is a team that won 13 games last year, and you can sit there and knock them all you want, but did the any of the moves that they make in the offseason say that they're going to lose 5 games in comparison to where they were last year? So I just don't think that the swing is that massive. It's a developing pass first offense. They've got Jordan Addison now to replace Adam Thielen. You get a full year of TJ Hawkinson, and Justin Jefferson's a freaking stud. So, their pass defense. Yeah. Adam Bernard, our illustrious producer. What's up, Adam? How are you today? That passing defense was Swiss cheese, Adam. Like a baby Swiss, little tiny holes, or you could drive a boat through these things.
I'm gonna go with like the cartoon Tom and Jerry, like that, like kind of look like the big holes in those Swiss cheeses in the cartoons. That's like, that's part of the reason why Justin Jefferson had so many stats last year is because they had to get back into games. So they're throwing the ball and they just happen to have arguably the best receiver in the game. So I guess they can play that way, but it's not ideal.
Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to say that they're still at least a 9-win team.
Well, to what Adam just said, I lean the under because of just that. I look at this one-score record, 11-0, and a lot of those games, as we were just saying, were just shootouts. They were the games that could have gone either way if they didn't have the ball last, if they didn't kind of hold on in the fourth quarter. I think there's going to be regression here. I really do.
I think there's going to be regression too. You think there's going to be 5-win regression?
Well, looking at their schedule, look. These are some of the games, the non-division games they have to play. They play at Philly. They get the Chargers at home. They get the Chiefs at home. They get San Fran at home. They have to go on the road to Denver. They have to go on the road to Cincinnati. I mean, they're because of their schedule last year, they're playing a much tougher schedule here. I think I lean the under here. I just think 8.5. I think they're going to be a little bit worse. I'm a fan of Kirk Cousins. I'd like to see him prove me wrong here, but we'll see.
All right, let's see. They take the Bucks first week. That's a win. I'll give them the loss to the Eagles on the road.
Thank you.
I need to see what that point spread is with them and the Chargers, because if the Chargers are favored by a touchdown or more at home, I'm definitely taking the Vikings there. But listen, I'll even just as a good Samaritan to you, I'll say 1-2. Panthers.
Hey, we have the spread. I'm looking at DraftKings right now. Chargers favored by 1.5 right now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. There you go. So we can still I'll go 1-2 there. They'll beat the Panthers for 2 wins. They'll lose to the Chiefs. I think they can split with the Bears.
By the way, that game against the Panthers also on DraftKings, only 1.5 favorites on the road for that one right now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, man. Just Bryce Young trying to get his feet wet there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Packers will be easy. They could probably sweep the Packers. The Falcons, they might be able to pass their way through. The Saints, Dennis Green will, it was Dennis Allen, not Dennis Green. It'd probably be better off if they had Dennis Green, right? Fucking Dennis Allen, right? They'll win that. They could beat the Broncos. I said they'd sweep the Bears.
At Denver on Sunday Night Football is tough, though, for that
beat
Denver
the Lions
game.
in one of these games. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with our producer Adam Brodart saying Minnesota goes 7-10 this year. I'm with him. I think I see 8 or 7 wins.
Let's build a spreadsheet here of over-unders this show, NFC North. I want you both in like sundresses, twirling around, singing children's songs as your punishment here. But yeah, I mean, come on.
We're going to have to wait until January to see these bets play out. But yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think it's going to be worth the wait to humiliate you two.
Listen, and the fact that we were going back and forth on the Lions, the Vikings last 2 of their last 3 games against the Lions. I just feel like that's going to be a big difference maker too. Whether we see at the end of the year the Lions are a stronger team overall, I could see them winning both of those.
Okie dokie.
All right, well then, so we're split on that one. We're split on 2 so far. Let's see if we agree on the Packers for this season.
Under.
Yeah. Okay.
Under.
Yeah, we're both on the under.
How you're giving me plus odds on a 7.5 wins for the Packers?
Yeah.
I'm just not buying into them right now. Maybe 7 wins at the most for this team, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, they were 8-9 last year, and we got, Jordan Love in, Aaron Rodgers out. I feel like Rodgers alone is worth 2 wins right there. And I see, just kind of taking that single aspect of it, I think I see the under 7.5 being the easy one. Especially when you look at their schedule, by the way, the back half of their schedule is like really tough. And if this is kind of a season where we see in the second half of the season where it's not going well, you could kind of see, some of the veterans taking some plays off. We could see, just kind of the vibes around Jordan Love. And I mean, they're going to let Love start the whole year, even if he's struggling, right?
Sure. So well, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. And the second half, I could just see him kind of, throwing a bunch of picks, but still going out there every week. So yeah, I'll fade them there. All right, so we're split on the Lions and the Vikings, but we agree on the Bears and Packers. So yeah, there you go. Well, we'll start a spreadsheet here. I wanted to get you on to start these win totals actually, and kind of when I have you on, we'll go through all the teams before the season starts. We got a few weeks before that happens, so we'll go through, see where we stand, and kind of revisit at the end of the season. If you anybody listening, watching out there, if you got any vibes or any strong leans on any of these win totals, hit us up, and we'll see where you stand. We could kind of fill you in on the spreadsheet too, to see where you stand. And by the way, I mentioned, if you haven't already, go get the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription. You get the Fantasy Football Draft Guide and the Fantasy Football Cheat Sheet for free if you have that All-Pro subscription. You could start your free 7-day trial for the All-Pro sub right now. Just go to fantasyalarm.com/draft guide. Get the cheat sheet from award-winning analyst Howard Bender, updated throughout the preseason and throughout training camp. We got preseason already starting, so you got to get this. Got to get these updates, get the edge on all your league mates and your drafts here. Top 200 rankings to, including rookies, dynasty, best ball, everything. So definitely get in on this now. fantasyalarm.com/cheat sheet to get that cheat sheet for free with the All-Pro subscription, free 7-day trial. All right, let's give out some picks for tonight. Let's turn our attention to baseball for Monday night. What's your best bet or Tuesday night? Sorry. Used to having you on a Monday, Howard, but
I know.
Night.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
What's your
Tuesday night?
What's your best bet tonight?
I'm going Max Scherzer, baby. Give me Scherzer here. Over 7.5 strikeouts. He's gone over this mark in 5 of his last 9. And in 3 of the 4 that he didn't get, over the 7.5, he still had 7 strikeouts. So he's going up against Oakland. 25% strikeout rate against right-handers, 25% strikeout rate over the past week for the team overall. Scherzer feels it, right? Now he's in Texas. He's about to, go and win the World Series with the Texas Rangers. He's going to put that nasty streak of himself going there, and I think he just mows down this horrendous Oakland lineup. So give me Scherzer over 7.5 strikeouts. And give me some great odds on that too, man. Come on.
Yeah, I would have thought that'd be, a lot worse odds. And actually looking right now, it is, minus 115 on DraftKings. So it is moving in that favor. There you go. And I saw earlier today the Underdog Picks article over on fantasyalarm.com. We have Colby Conway also going to the over on this strikeout prop for Max Scherzer. So you got one person agreeing with you from the Fantasy Alarm community.
I also heard that whoever did the RT Sports Pick'em contest video also said Max Scherzer over 7.5 strikeouts. I wonder who that genius was.
Was he on this show right now?
Maybe.
We'll definitely check that out over.
Do you ever notice when I do
YouTube.
like my eye popping thing, I look like Adam Gase at a press conference? Right? Bernard, could I please get one of those like floating tacos, those like little animated tacos floating around so I can do my full Adam Gase impression?
I don't have floating tacos ready to go at a whim. Sorry.
You would be so much cooler if you had floating tacos on a whim right now.
Yeah, well, the budget doesn't allow for that. We can have floating tortillas, but we can't have that full taco.
At Pucking Thoughts. That's that. There you go. Nothing but hurt right now. Nothing but hurt.
All right, Howard. I got to break the seal on this Orioles versus Astros game because I know you got a pick coming up that is against me here, but I'm going with the Orioles money line plus 110 on DraftKings. Framber Valdez starting for the Astros here, coming off his no-hitter. I just expect a little bit more of what we saw previously, which was a 7.29 ERA in July before he tossed that no-no, which came against, a Guardians offense, which is very, kind of trending down over the past couple weeks since they basically punted on the AL Central division race. But I think the O's offense is really going to get to him here. I've bet on the O's and targeted this Orioles offense against left-handed pitching all season, and over the past since the All-Star break, they got a 3.25 WOBA, lower strikeout rate against left-handed pitching, and Valdez also on the road 4.11 ERA compared to a 2.44 ERA at home. So I got a little bit of concerns for Valdez here coming off his no-no, but also on the other side, I really like what I'm seeing from Grayson Rodriguez. He hasn't been lights out, but since coming back from the minors, he's been a lot more serviceable in this Orioles rotation. Since returning to the bigs in July, 195 batting average against in 4 starts, a 257 FIP in this span as well. And he's faced some good offenses. The Rays, Dodgers, and Blue Jays in this stretch. And the Astros offense, they're in their, bad end of their splits. They're a lot better against lefties than righties. And over the past week, a 291 WOBA versus right-handed pitching, just a 196 batting average against righties. So I like the Orioles here. Anytime I can get them right now at plus money, I like to dive in on it. So I could have made this my diamond dog, but I'm making it my best bet tonight.
Listen, and you know what the beautiful thing is, Daniel, is that you can be right on this best bet, and I can be right on my other MLB bet, which is just the Houston Astros first 5 innings on the money line. Just the first 5. I believe in Framber Valdez, and he's the type of pitcher who responds well. This isn't like oh God, who was it that threw the no-hitter and then just got wrecked the next start, or threw a perfect Astros? Didn't somebody throw a perfect game and then just got their ass handed to them the next game? I can't remember
Domingo Germán
off the top of my head. What's that?
Are you talking Germán for the Yankees?
Oh, yeah. Look at Domingo Germán, right? Like, this isn't Domingo Germán. This is Framber Valdez we're talking about. Germán, after pitching that no-no and just being all sorts of, like, dazzling, whatever, completely shit the bed in the next outing there. And then, whatever. And then, obviously, had some other issues. But the Orioles can win this whole game as long as the Astros, first 5 inning on the money line. I got it at minus 125 on BetMGM. I like Grayson Rodriguez. I just don't know if Grayson Rodriguez is ready for the moment. We saw him, come up the first time around, and he struggled with his command. He gets really up on the mound. He overthrows. He's a very emotional dude. So I just kind of worry that, you've got some good disciplined hitters in this Astros lineup right now. And that's all I want. Just the first 5 innings. Money line. That's it. I just give me a lead there for the Houston Astros. Let me feel good about that, and then you can tear ass on all of their relievers for all you want. Adley Rutschman can homer. Santander can homer. All off of just do it all off of Ryan Presley. I'm okay with that. I don't have him in fantasy either.
Or it could come off Valdez, but in the 6th inning or later. How about that?
Yeah, okay. There, you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I'm all right. You're greedy, but I'm all right.
Well, because my whole analysis was kind of fading Valdez and backing Rodriguez. So, the first 5 would be maybe something I consider too for the O's. But just sticking to the full game, I like that plus money there. So. All right. What else you got going tonight?
All right. So, like I said, I did the RT Sports Pick'em video this morning, and one of the picks was Nico Horner over half a run scored. And I was like, listen, for the RT Sports Pick'em contest, it's low-hanging fruit. I'm totally in on that, right? But it's minus 125 on DK. I would bet that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. But then I also like Nico Horner over 2.5 hits, runs plus RBI. Dude, this is Carlos Carrasco on the mound. Carrasco's got a 1.64 whip. He's got a 6.60 ERA. He sucks balls. And the Cubs right now, right? The Cubs at this point right now collectively batting or collectively posting a 394 weighted on base average over the past week. The Cubs lineup looks hot. Nico Horner's got a 331 OBP. He'll get that run scored, but I'll go for the move here and say that he comes around. I mean, you see this guy's got 10 runs scored in his last 7 games. I mean, Please give me plus 115 on that 2.5 hits, runs, RBI. I think we're sitting pretty. I thought about making this my diamond dog too, but I got something better.
Ooh. Listen, I can get full behind this Horner pick. I looked at Horner as my home run call tonight, but I went in a different direction.
Ooh.
So I love the over on all of his props basically. But I got picks. I'm agreeing with you because I got a couple picks for the Cubs here too. Their team total over 4.5. I'm just going right back to it. I've been going to it for the last couple weeks, and I love the fact that they're coming off a game yesterday where they only scored 2 runs, and I expect to bounce back here, as you mentioned, against Carrasco. You went through some of his bad numbers this year, but at home, 8.51 ERA for him at home this year.
Ooh.
He's allowed at least 4 runs on his own in 4 straight starts coming into tonight. And in 7 of his last 8 starts, opposing teams have scored 5+ runs in general. So I like this team total at 4.5 to get over 5, because 5 has actually been a key number for the Cubs. I've broke this down before, but they've scored 5+ runs in 17 of their last 23 games, going back to right around the All-Star break, and 6 of their last 8 games coming into tonight. You mentioned that the Cubs are just, on fire here, their offense. And against righties over the past week, 401 WOBA, 307 ISO. I think they're going to hammer Carrasco here. So give me their team total, -140 on BetMGM. And then adding another one onto that, maybe this will help your Nico Hoerner runs scored and hits, runs, RBIs, because I like Heimer Candelario over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -135 on DraftKings. This guy's been playing well since coming over to Chicago. 480 batting average in 7 games since joining the Cubs at the deadline. 1312 OPS, and he's been over this prop in 5 of 7 games since joining the Cubs lineup there. And in his career against Carrasco, hitting 400 in that BVP matchup. And to add even more kind of impact on this for the team total, for your Hoerner props, and for Candelario tonight, good hitting weather in New York tonight. The wind's blowing out at about 15 miles per hour. I like that. So, yeah, give me the Candelario prop in addition to that Cubs team total.
I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. I like that we're on board here. You and me, man. Once you and I lock in on the Cubs, and that worked beautifully for us last week. We're going to be in harmony again today. So I might even sprinkle an extra unit on that. I'll just be safe with the Nico Hoerner over half a run, and just put I would do like 2 units on that just to kind of hammer that one home. I do have another one, and this one here. Oh, Mitch Keller. Oh, Mitchie. We're coming for you, pal. I love attacking a pitcher who looked phenomenal in the first half and who has just completely fallen apart here in the second half. Yeah. Mitch Keller's allowed 7 home runs in his last 4 starts. Base runners are circling him like it's a flipping carousel, right? Like you're at the fair with your significant other, and you're like, oh, should we just ride around the carousel for a little while? Yeah, let's do that. Those are the base runners around Mitch Keller at this point in time right now. Give me the Braves team total over 5.5 runs. I tell you what, man, when I first woke up this morning and I was looking at that, and I got up at like 4 a.m. Here on the West Coast, and I was eyeballing it, and it was at like plus 100 for the over 5.5 runs. And I was like, oh, okay, sick. That's great. It's great. Let me take care of a couple of other things. And then I came back to it like an hour later to set my bets up for the day. And it was already down at -110 on BetMGM. So I was like, that's my fault. Like a snooze, you lose on that. But Braves team total over 5.5 runs. Yeah. Sorry, Mitchie.
5.5 runs is like a high team total, but if there was a spot for them to do it and get over it, it's here against Keller, because you mentioned it was a completely different pitcher than what he was at the beginning of the year. So it's just crazy.
I mean, he'll crap all over me and throw 7 shutout innings now because of that, but nevertheless.
All right, well, I'm sticking with this game as well, and just looking at the other side of things. Compared to just combining these bets, it looks like we probably like the over in this one too, because I am on just this Pirates offense against Yanni Chirinos pitching for Atlanta tonight, and I'm going over 2.5 earned runs for him. It's at -165, but listen, I think you can throw this in parlays. You can maybe lay an extra half a unit or something to get return, because I just think this is going to cash. Because listen, he's been a lot better. You just kind of look at his splits He's been a lot better this year, going back to when he was with Tampa Bay before he got dealt to Atlanta. He's a lot better as a reliever out of the bullpen than a traditional starter. The Rays really used him well as a bulk reliever guy, and he was really effective that way. But they started to use him as a reliever, as a traditional starter at times. It wasn't going well, and the Braves are now doing it here. And he was decent against the Angels, 5 innings pitched, 3 runs allowed. But listen, the 3 runs allowed is something he's now done in 5 of his 6 starts this year as a starting pitcher. He's allowing 3+ runs in 5 of 6 starts. And he's also got, going back to some of his time with Tampa Bay, he has a 6.82 ERA over his last 8 outings overall, which some of those are as a reliever too. But as a starter, it's not been going great. Atlanta's got him in the rotation to just kind of eat some innings here, but I think this is a rough spot because the Pirates right now coming in hot against right-handed pitching over the past 2 weeks, a 336 WOBA, 223 ISO versus righties in this split. So I like them to get 3 earned runs against Torinos here, because we'll probably see Torinos for 5 innings, and I just think they're going to allow him to let up a few runs early.
All right. Well, no more than 3, please.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the fact that I have him in. He's a 2-star pitcher this week, and I threw him into my my fantasy lineup in a couple of spots. So come on, be nice to me, sir. No more than 3. Let me hear you say that.
Well, getting to our diamond dog pick, I might have to disagree there. I'll reveal that in a second, but I would like maybe a couple more runs, but it can come after Torinos is in the game as a little tease there. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Don't piss on my Torinos pick. Come on.
All right, sorry.
You got any more? Because I'm out. I'm tapped.
I got one last one before we get to some home run calls and diamond dogs. I'm going with in game 2 tonight in the Nats Phillies doubleheader. I'm going with the Nationals team total over 3.5 at -120 on DraftKings. This is part of a bet I gave out on yesterday's show, but we had that game rained out. But I'm fading Ranger Suarez at home because he's got a 5.70 ERA at home compared to a 2.76 ERA on the road. This is kind of a trend that continued from last year where he was he's just having better outings on the road than at home, weirdly enough. And also just posted a 6.11 ERA in the month of July, which included 5 runs allowed to the Nats in their last time he met them. So I think Washington will do it here. We know this Nats lineup has been tough on lefties all season. Better numbers against lefties than righties this year. And since the All-Star break against left-handers, 347 WOBA and a 117 WRC plus. So I like this Nats team total over 3.5 because also they've been, they're not always winning games, but their offense is scoring runs lately. They've scored 4+ runs in 6 of their last 8 games coming into tonight and 12 of the past 16 too. So, we got game 1 that just started up a few minutes ago this hour, but I think game 2, I like their team total over 3.5.
Okay. I mean, it's the Nats. I mean, how'd they do in how's this early
They're
game
winning 1-0 against the Phillies right now. So there you go. They're keeping it going.
Trevor Williams just balling right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's only the second, but we'll see. But like this matchup is against Zach Wheeler, so I didn't, wasn't gonna lay a bet on the Nats there, but I like targeting Ranger Suarez, so I'll do that there. All right, let's dive into some more plus money picks for tonight's slate. You get to our diamond dogs.
Rounding up the diamond dogs.
Who the diamond dogs?
It's just a group of people who care, Roy. Not unlike folks at a hip-hop concert whose hands are not in the air.
Ow! I'm gonna go first out because I just touched on this game, and I gotta give it out right now because I'm going with the Pittsburgh Pirates team total over 4.5 at +105 on DraftKings. Listen, they can get enough runs after Torinos is out of the game. How about that? But I just broke down Torinos, just his rough stats as a traditional starter, and I think it'll continue tonight. And this Pirates team total at 4.5. They're averaging 4.7 runs per game for the past 9 games here. And as I mentioned, they got better numbers against righties lately. So they're just kind of an underrated offense. They lit up Spencer Strider last night, and I don't see Chirinos having too much more success, or not much at all. Sorry, Howard, but yeah, give me the team total.
Hope a dog takes a piss.
Your Braves team total can still cash, but I just needed my Pirates team total. So this game's at I think the total's at like 10 overall. So we both like the team totals on either side.
Me. What's my diamond dog pick for the day? Oh, there it is, right? I am going to shout out Britt Flynn from the Better Morning Show. I heard her throw down this bet here, and I was like, that is the perfect diamond dog pick right now. Mookie Betts over 1.5 hits, right? You look at what Betts has done in recent games, and I can just kind of pull up some stats for you right now because I'm not memorizing them. But he's hit safely in each of his last 7 games, and he's got 4 multi-hit performances in that spot. Back-to-back games with home runs, and he's got 4 home runs in his last 7 games as well. Mookie is hot right now. Hot. Sizzling. Brandon Pfaadt sucks. Well, he doesn't suck. He's got a lot of potential in him. I'm sorry, Brandon, if your mom's watching the show here. I know she likes to tune in for all of my programs, but the bottom line is that Brandon Pfaadt pitches to way too much contact. The Dodgers are balling like crazy right now. Mookie looks so good. For plus 135 for this guy to have a multi-hit game, I'm taking that shot. I am taking that shot, Servo. You could probably even, like, if you wanted to hedge it with his hits plus runs plus RBIs, that's probably over at 2.5 right now. But I will say that I would actually do that as well. So there you go.
Yeah, minus 120 to get the over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs for Mookie right now.
Yeah, so just might as well just take plus 135 and say he's gonna have 2 hits.
I like that. Yeah, he's his total bases at 1.5, over 1.5 is at minus 160 too. So,
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Well, I can get behind fading Brandon Pfaadt tonight, and that's one of my home run calls is coming from. So let's get that, our daily dingers tonight.
And that baby is gone.
Now that's a dinger.
And I hope JD Martinez hits a dinger tonight because, just fading Brandon Pfaadt, 8.86 ERA for him at home this year with 6 homers allowed over 5 home starts against righties, 5.98 slug allowed. And JD Martinez, he's been crushing righties, 325 ISO for him in that split, a 5.90 slug, and 21 of his 25 home runs this year have come against right-handed pitching. And oh, by the way, he's got great career numbers in Arizona, which is where this game is. 344 batting average, 779 slugging percentage, and 18 home runs over 45 career games in Arizona's ballpark. So, yeah, give me him to go deep tonight, plus 295 on DraftKings.
Yeah, we could probably pull that graphic up again, Adam, just because I want you to all to just take a look at how handsome Matt Olson is, admiring his home run shot right there. The lefty swinging Matt Olson has 6 home runs in his last 8 games. He has hit safely in his last 5, right? And he has hit safely in what? Oh, look at that. I think that's 10 out of his last 11. I mean, the dude is absolutely on fire. I love him to pieces. Plus 245 for him to hit a home run. Like I said earlier, Mitch Keller has given up 7 home runs in his last 3. And where Matty Olson's the majority of his home runs, off of a righty. So you got a soft righty in Mitch Keller. Matt Olson, baby. Matt Olsen.
You and Colby Conway must have discussed things earlier today, because he's also on Matt Olson's total bases, over 1.5 total bases over at the Underdog Picks article. And he's got another Brave in there to tease, another Braves prop. So he likes probably your team total over as well.
Can you taste it? Tastes like victory. So good.
Love it. Yeah, the Scherzer, the Olsen pick, both in there for him. So he's on board with you. All right, yeah, I can get behind that, because, yeah, Olsen, he's another guy that's just on fire right now, and probably is not going to cool down against Mitch Keller tonight. So, all right, well, that's our show tonight for today. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. If you haven't already, go check out what's up next. 5 p.m. Eastern, we get the Quick Pitch MLB DFS live show. John and Pemba and James Grande on that one, and then 6 p.m. Eastern, the Sports Bettor Court with Dan Lust, and then 7 p.m. Eastern, Tour Junkies with David Barnett and Pat Perry. So check all that out coming up today or tonight on Bettor Sports Network. And we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, here on Bettor Sports Betting. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on a Tuesday. And good luck with all your bets tonight. Good luck, Howard. And good luck to myself. And we'll see you tomorrow. Later.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports Network.